This isn't an easy video for me to make, but I think it's important, so I do want to share. Last week, I lost one of my oldest friends to cancer. She was 62. I mentioned this friend in a video I made a few weeks ago about why I quit my job at 54. She grinded away for years at a job that gave her daily migraines. But by the time she finally quit, it was too late. She was diagnosed shortly after, battled for years until last week. She was one of the most selfless people I knew, and I'm making this video because I think she would want people to make changes now so they could live a life that they won't regret. And I remembered this list from this hospice nurse called Bronnie Ware, who shared the 5 regrets of the dying, and these were the most common regrets she heard from her patients on their deathbeds. Hi, I'm Tess, and after starting over at 54, and now, especially after losing my friend, these 5 regrets are a huge wake-up call. And I think you might see yourself in some of them as well. And the last one in particular is one that you are definitely not going to want to regret. And it's really making me rethink some of my choices too. The first regret that Bonnie observed from her patients is, I wish I had lived a life true to myself and not the life that others expected of me. And this is so common. So many of us just do what our parents want us to, our friends, society. And that typically looks like going to school, working hard, getting married, being responsible. I did all of that and it looked great on paper, but I was exhausted, anxious, and I didn't realize it, but I was disconnected from myself. So many of us spend our whole lives doing what everyone thinks we should be doing that we never get a chance to explore what we want. My friend had a job at a well-known corporation and a lot of people were envious, but she was miserable and she didn't get to spend the time doing the things that she loved, which was hula dancing and living the aloha spirit in Hawaii. I sometimes wonder if things would have been different if she had. You can't spend your best years waiting for permission from someone else. No one is coming to rescue you from your life. You have to rescue yourself. The next regret is a tough pill to swallow for me. The second regret of the dying is, I wish I hadn't worked so hard. This one stings because I truly believe it was her job that made my friend so sick. When we say a job is toxic, that is not just a word that we throw around. It truly poisons your body and your mind. If you wake up and check email before you even pee, that's not a good sign. This is why I finally quit my toxic job after my therapist told me that she sees many 50-somethings grind away at their jobs until retirement, and then they're too sick to enjoy their retirement. I didn't want that to be me. When I left, my health came back and I could finally breathe again. You know, people often say nobody sits on their deathbed saying, I really wish I had worked harder. Yet we still do it and we work like crazy just because everybody else does it. And listen, of course we all need to work. We all need to eat and pay the rent. But often we work to just make more money to buy these material things, these things that don't make us happy in the end. They make us happy for maybe a minute. Peace costs nothing and it lasts longer. My friend worked herself sick, literally. And now when I'm tempted to overdo it, I hear her voice. Take the sick day, go for the walk. It can wait. And this next regret is for my people pleasers out there. The third regret of the dying is, I wish I had had the courage to express my feelings. This one's tricky because women are raised to be agreeable, to keep the peace, to not make waves. But sitting on your feelings doesn't keep the peace. It just builds resentment. I remember berating myself after a meeting once, all night long, because I didn't say what I needed to say. My conflict style used to be smile and slowly die inside. Not ideal. I've done that in relationships, in jobs, even with family, and each time it chipped away at me a little bit. And I know my friend suppressed her feelings too in order to keep everyone else happy. And we thought we were just being kind, but really we were just abandoning ourselves. If you don't make your feelings a priority, who will? It is okay to speak and live your truth. The fourth regret of the dying is, I wish I had stayed in touch with my friends. So I have this regret now. A week before she passed, I texted my friend, but I really wish I would have gone to see her. I thought there was more time. Life gets busy and we assume that the people we love will always be there. We tell ourselves, I'll call them next week, and then suddenly it's been years. But there is still time to reconnect, even in your 50s. A couple years ago, after I left my job and relationship, I called an old college friend, and we talked on the phone for 2 hours, like no time had even passed. Now we're in touch regularly, we see each other, and I feel like I could tell her anything. So reach out to your friends, even if it feels a little awkward, even if it's just a text that says, hey, I miss you. If someone pops into your mind, that's your sign. And the next regret ties all of this together, and it might hit hard. I know it did for me. Regret number 5 is, I wish I had let myself be happier. Now, notice the words here. I wish I'd let myself be happier. Nurse Bronnie said that people don't realize until the end that happiness is a choice. They stick in old patterns and habits because they're familiar, and change feels hard. So in essence, we're choosing to be unfulfilled. I made that choice for most of my life, in jobs that were sucking the life out of me, with partners who didn't deserve me, because I was too scared to make a change. But really, what's scarier is being on your deathbed and realizing that you spent your whole life doing things that caused you suffering and not the things that light you up. I remember the first morning after I quit, I woke up and I was lying in my bed thinking, wow, this is peace. And the same thing after I left my toxic relationship. After about a month, after all the fighting and frustration were gone, I felt just peace. And speaking of peace, can you hear these frogs? They are talking. They are croaking. No pun intended. Happiness isn't a reward that you earn after suffering enough. Happiness is a choice. And yes, sometimes that involves making big, hard, scary changes. But I want to remind you, you can do big, hard, scary things. If you are in midlife, you have lived through a lot of stuff. You have done scary things in the past. You have done hard things. You've done it before. You can do it again. Isn't it worth it? I'm telling you, it is worth it. And I am proof. I left my toxic job and relationship, and that was scary for me. But now I feel peace and I'm happy. If you're in a situation right now that you're questioning, ask yourself, does this make me happy? And more importantly, will I regret this in the end? If you answer honestly, you'll know what to do. Losing my friend made me realize how precious all of this is. She didn't get the time she deserved, but I think she would want the rest of us to use our time differently, to slow down, to speak and live our truth, to be with friends, to stop waiting for permission, and to choose happiness. And make time for silliness and fun. Dance in the grocery store, wear those crazy pants that you love, and crack that lame joke, even if you're the only one who laughs. We can't change the past, but we can stop adding new regrets. You have one life. Don't waste any more time. Start living a life for yourself now. If not now, when? If you want to know how I got the courage to leave my toxic job at 54, this video here goes through all of it, and I hope it gives you some inspiration, whether it's a job you need to leave or any other toxic situation that's bringing you down. And if you're starting over or reinventing yourself over 50, hit subscribe because we're doing this together. You got this, girl. You're a bad mama jamma.